actually am president of One SEO digital agency. We have about 85 digital marketers based out of Philadelphia. We do all different type of digital marketing, SEO, PPC, social media, website, app development. So what we're going to cover here today is what is the digital marketing sales process and why is it different than most processes, systems needed to optimize your online sales funnels, implementing multiple goals to lead conversions, optimizing for those micro moments that everyone's discussing and making sure you're prepared, taking advantage of user behavior and interactions on different platforms. You know, I thought this was pretty interesting right here from HubSpot. I don't know who the 2% that have no clue what they're going to do this year for marketing, so I wouldn't want them leading my digital team. But right here, the #1 goal is converting your leads into customers. So how do you make that happen? That's the #1 goal for everyone that was surveyed, which I think inbound is next month, which is also another pretty good thing talking about this. So what I find interesting is this is for every $92 spent online, only $1 is spent on conversion rate optimization. So think about that. Someone that's spending about $10,000 a month or $5,000 is only spending somewhere between $150 to make sure the traffic that's actually coming through their different platforms is converting into what they want to do. So we always tell people when they come to us, let's take a look and see what people are actually doing on your different platforms. Where are they going? What is that funnel? Why is dropping off? Why are you paying for all this traffic, but you're not looking at what's converting and what's not converting? So we're going to talk about that today. You know, the one thing I always say to everyone is this, is when people say to me, should I do SEO, PPC, social media, email marketing, I always say don't silo anything. If you look how many touches it will take for a lot of things to get people to convert on your site, whether you're selling a product or you're in the lead generation business, you're going to see there's multiple touch points. And we're going to talk about that today and how you really get through that funnel. You're going to see it comes through all different channels. And really, I think the biggest difference with digital marketing, you can really pinpoint where it starts and ends. So we can really say, okay, this is where it started and this is where it ended and what was that funnel, and really look at it and then say, this is what I want more of or this is what I don't want more of. And we're going to talk about that. First, exposure, right? So you have affiliates, a bunch of people, you need exposure. So you are paying for ads, your affiliate marketing, organic, email, whatever it may be. Then you're going to go through the discovery process, whether it be through social media, your website, wherever it is, a squeeze page, a land page. And anyone that wants this PowerPoint, you can have it. You don't have to take pictures. I'll send you the deck. It's not a problem at all. So I see the cameras out. Absolutely. Just let me know. Consideration. Go through what are they considering. Then the conversion. You know, I disagree with this conversion, but, you know, they say it becomes a customer. I think the conversion for a lot of different people is the email lead, the phone call, that contact, right? But the biggest thing that we see through people that come to us all the time is the retention part. They don't realize once you have someone as a client, it's very easy to keep them coming back as a client or have them coming back buying your product multiple times. So we'll talk about that also. This is one of my favorite parts. I saw this and I started laughing, and there's a company out of PA and they put this together. Tofo, mofo, bofo. Try saying that 100 times in a row, right? But when you think about it, right, it's not just a website visitor, it's also through social media these days, many different platforms. Tofo is, hey, listen, that's the top of the funnel, as you can see right here. I'm going to come in and look at maybe a white paper, watch a quick video, maybe just look at something's going on in your site. Mofo is, I do almost these same exact things, again, just a little bit longer, and maybe I sign up for an email letter or subscription. And then Bofo is where they actually go through the whole process and either call you, request, or buy. And I think people don't realize this, and there's a slide in here where you're going to see that we did for a bank and we turned it into a case study, how many times people would actually come back to their site, and we broke it down for mortgage, for car business, auto loans, and then checking accounts. And you're going to be surprised at that data. But one of the biggest things is people don't use tools. And there's so many different tools out there that you can use. They're going to dictate the ability for you to analyze all your data. So we're going to talk about some of the tools. And this is probably one of the best ones if you're in the lead generation business. If you don't have call tracking on everything and make it a different number for everything you do, I could advise you to do it right away. So I'm going to tell you a funny story. We represent a private jet company, right? And we were on the phone with them last week, and they've been our client for about 4 months. And the gentleman said to me, we get about 95 emails a week, Lance, off of what you guys are doing, but not one single phone call. I said, okay, no problem. I just started laughing. He said, what are you laughing at? I said, well, we got call tracking on everything. I said, you actually get about 237 calls a week off all the different things we're doing for you. He said, well, that's not what Chris is telling me, right? I'm like, well, that's great that Chris is telling you you're not getting any phone calls. Well, when he went back and listened to every single phone call, not everyone, he was finding out Chris was saying to every lead that was calling him, go to our website, fill out a form, go and tell us the details of what you want to do. This is a private jet company. You're going to rent a private jet, and you call them, and they're saying, Chris is saying to them ultimately, hey, go fill out a form or just email us through the website. Well, we came back and said, you might want to take an opportunity and talk to Chris and say, hey, Chris, we're a growing company here. We're trying to get our jets out into the airway. Help us here, right? So thought that was pretty good. And call tracking, how many use call tracking in the room for everything? So the ones that do it, you'll see this is one of the best tools you ever use. Ton of different companies out there. UTM codes, you know, this should be on everything you do. And when people come to us, the majority of people have no UTM set across anything. We're like, well, how do you track your email? Oh, we look at the open rate. I'm like, well, you got to do more than that, right? Social network tracking. How can you see where people are coming from and buying your product? Just because you give 400 people through Facebook, through Google Analytics, doesn't mean they all bought. What are you tracking? Referral tag links, link in media, tracking videos, infographics. There's a company out there that's doing pretty well with this. It's called Sniply, if you guys want to write that down. They do incredible work with tracking UTM codes and making it dynamic for you so you don't have to keep pulling them, and it's very low investment. Display tagging, paid search campaigns tagged, separate phone numbers. You know, the nice part what Google did for everybody was with their pay-per-click, they actually track the phone call for you now, record the call for you, made it pretty simple. But you should have separate phone numbers in everything that you're doing so you could see what's working, what's not working in everything you're doing. I thought this was pretty interesting still, the amount of money being spent on email marketing and how fast it's growing. It's still over a $3 billion business, and as affiliates, as a lot of you know, you're going to get a lot of traffic and conversions off that email database of yours. So thought this was pretty interesting, and we're actually going against this, and we're trying to disprove this theory. So we actually, for about 40 of our clients, we've been emailing out at 11 a.m., and we also find that 5 p.m. is a very good time. So we're actually trying to see what is the highest click-through rate. Is it 11 a.m. or 5 p.m.? But we know 11 a.m. does very well. We also know 5 p.m. now competes with it. So I thought that was pretty interesting for people that are doing email marketing. Right here, email advanced segmentation. I don't see a lot of people doing the next step. You know, you have someone that opens something 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 times. Why would you not pull all those people out, make an advanced segmentation, and say, okay, these people are interested in this right here, this actual piece of content. Let's get further into that content. Let's make it better. Let's make it a better offer, and then send it out just to them. And you're going to see it's going to be actually a higher open rate and a higher conversion rate. And that's from MailChimp. So text message marketing. Google actually brought this out about a year ago now. They still use it for pay-per-click. And you'll see where a lot of people, the open rate on a text message is very high still. And people want to be able to communicate through businesses through text messaging. So Google now has it. Other people now have it. You're going to see it more and more. Because people, it's funny, we actually have people that fill out forms to us for One SEO to apply for a job. And they say, hey, listen, can you respond? Don't call us. Can you either text us or email us to set up the interview process? I think it's comical that you would ask for that when you're applying for a job, but it just goes to show you the state of the world we're heading in, right? So how many of you saw this where Google's actually letting you go back into AdWords for your offline conversions and put them in? So you can actually set this up right in your MCC in AdWords now. And this is great for retailers. It's great for people that do have walk-in traffic now to really say, what is my conversion? What is that true dollar I'm spending? What is my ROI? Because if you looked at this very first slide I sent you, was number 3 or 4 was marketers want to prove their ROI. You know, people just can't prove it because there's so many things. And I think retailers is one of the hardest ones to prove it for that walk-in traffic. But there's some pretty cool things that people are coming up with now. So how this would work is somebody walks into your retail store, somebody asks you, hey, how'd you hear about us? And they say, actually, I found you online. And then you go back in and you can actually put it in online and ask them was it an ad or organic and just do a little deep dive. Facebook just came out with this feature about 2-3 weeks ago. Has everyone saw this, the native store locator? So you can actually now in that ad get directions, phone numbers, time, where it is, and they're actually going to have it set up that that mobile device triggers when you walk into the store if you actually used it, so they will actually report back to that retailer, hey, your Facebook ad generated this person to walk through the store. Because not everything is just about views and likes. So I definitely, if you don't use this, if you're a retailer, I'd definitely start looking into this also. Conversion optimization. You know, when people come to us, especially even with affiliates that come to us, they don't have goals set up, they don't have funnels set up, they don't have different things set up. And I'm like, how could you tell what's working and what's not working? And the most common answer I get is bounce rate. I just look at my bounce rate. Well, there's so much more than just bounce rate. Yes, if you have a 90% bounce rate, you probably want to rehaul everything, right? But the thing is this, is you'll want to take a look at more than that. What are the KPIs you're trying to get people to do? Newsletters. Make sure you're tracking your newsletters. If someone signs up for your newsletter, who is it? That's one goal, right? If someone signed up for your newsletter, like Bruce Clay's here in the room, everybody, a legend. I signed up for his newsletter about 10 years ago. So, you know, you'll want to know who signed up for your newsletters. You want to make sure, hey, is this someone in the space? Is this someone that's a potential customer? And look and do the research and say, let's that newsletter grow. That's a goal you want to have because not everyone's going to buy from you today. Multiple thank you pages you want to have. Use a tool on your site. Sign up for a demo. White paper download. Time spent on site. You know, we represent a lot of people in the legal field. And we had a lawyer say, I want somebody that's on my site for more than 10 seconds as a goal. I said, that's a pretty short amount of time frame for, you know, a legal site, someone that's a family divorce attorney. I said, you might want to, if your average time's on site 1 minute and 45 seconds, which his is, I said, you might want to go up to over 1 minute, 50 seconds, give what pages are more important, set different goals up. Watch a video. You know, we know video is big. We know people are watching a lot of different content out there. How many people are clicking on your video? Is it in the right spot? Is it educational? Is it informational? Is it tutorial? Track to click to call. You want to make sure not just how many people are actually calling you, but track the actual button itself. How many times is it clicked? You know, so you want to make sure you're looking at that also. And test those things. Right, here's a pretty interesting slide if you take a look at it. 63% of marketers say generating traffic and leads is their top challenge. And it makes sense if you really think about it. You know, anyone that's in the service-based business, even affiliate-based business, you'll walk around here and everyone's talking about traffic and leads and different things. Well, you'll want to make sure you're looking at what that traffic's doing on your site. You know, the worst thing you want to do is see a video get taken down off of a site that's been watched 500 times, but no one knows it. You don't want to see someone's, you know, newsletter get taken down to the bottom when literally you have 1,000 newsletter signups, but you don't know why because no one's tracking this information. So you really want to make sure you're setting up goals for every piece of every part of your site, from one page to the next. For everything you think of, you can set up a goal. You can actually break this down paid versus organic. You can break it down versus referral versus social. You can really take it down to the granular to make sure you're maximizing your funnels. So I think this is where, you know, Google came out about 2 years ago, and all they speak about is that micro moment. You can watch videos on this, and it's actually very good information. But, you know, it is true how you optimize for conversion rate optimization is what you're going to look for in that micro moment. So I want to know moment, you know, if I'm trying to look for something educational. So, you know, we represent a lot of plastic surgeons. So let's just say a female wants to get a breast augmentation or a tummy tuck or whatever it may be. You're going to make sure they want to know in that moment. They might want to answer a question. Put FAQs on your site. Have it come back. Set up as a goal to someone download that white paper on there. Go through that micro moment when someone's looking for that information, if they want to know something. You know, I want to go moments. You know, this is pretty simple. Everyone knows mobile's growing super, super fast. Everyone knows that Google just announced yesterday or last week they take out predictive modeling on your search. So there's no more showing up the instant results. So you actually now got to hit enter or autocomplete to get your results back. Well, they did that because on mobile you can't actually see it. So they made the change as of last Wednesday or Thursday of last week. Well, this goes into that I want to go moment. I want to go to Ibiza, right? So one of my friends went to Ibiza, Spain. I saw it on Facebook. I saw cool pictures, cool videos. I'm driving with my wife. I said, man, we should go to Ibiza. She Googles Ibiza. She never even heard of it. Believe it or not, there's a song about it also. So that's even more amazing, right? So she starts Googling. Next thing you know, we're booked for Ibiza for next year. Now, granted, it started on our mobile device driving, then it finished at our laptop at home about 2 days later. But think about that process of I want to go moments. You know, I want to look at different things. I want to do moments. You know, what do you want to do? I might be looking for going to a different college. I might want to go to, and YouTube is huge for this. I want to do things. You know, I want to fix a car. I'm a plumber fixing a pipe, whatever it may be. I want to do different things. How do I fix my golf cart? Whatever it may be. Videos right here. I want to do moments. I want to buy moments. I think this is probably the most simple one that people look at is for e-commerce, or I want to buy a pair of sneakers. I want to buy jewelry. I want to buy perfume. That moment where you just Google something, you buy it. So my wife bought me a brand new pair of Beats headphones this morning on her phone in less than 2 minutes, right? Mine died. She bought a new one. Either you're there or not. So I think when people are looking in those moments, you want to make sure, hey, this sounds, you know, I was just talking to Bruce. It's easy to say, people are everyone's saying mobile first, mobile first. It's easy to say that, but are you looking at the data? Is your mobile truly first? Are you designing everything first for mobile for all these different moments? And the thing is this, is you got to say, what is my audience? What is that moment that's going to get them to convert the most? For people that actually are in the service-based business here or service-based leads, the near-me searches have doubled in the past year, and that's even growing more. If you go to Google Trends and you type in near-me searches, you actually see it skyrocket. So I think it's pretty impressive for people that aren't going for near-me, that aren't going for different zip codes. You know, people are starting to do more business with local-based businesses more than ever, and they're trying to find local-based businesses to actually work with. So near me take into heavy consideration. Right here is mobile conversions have gone up 29%. We just had Google at our office, and that number, he said, tripled in the last year. I'm getting a deck from him to prove that point. Which makes sense. As digital marketers all in this room, you all are going mobile first. You're looking at your mobile experience. So it's going to make sense that's converting more. This I do believe, because think about this. When you're in the middle of a task, how many of you actually go look up something on a smartphone to make sure what you're writing is accurate, information's accurate, or you're trying to find something out? So we know mobile's being used even outside of a silo of you doing a behavior. You might be saying, hey, listen, I'm working today, but know what? I'm working on this project, but I want to go see about this or that or this or that right on your device. And then you either buy something, book it, look into it. So we know mobile for that micro moment is huge. Take advantage of user behavior and interaction. Right here. So 40% of what, this sounds simple, but it's really not. So one of our clients is a retail jewelry, high-end watches. He just had his site rebuilt, and his development company tried telling him that a 4-second load time was fine. And we said, no, you got to get it under 2 seconds. And we proved to him that, listen, you can get it under 2 seconds, which it is now. But the actual conversion rate went through the roof of traffic coming to his site. His bounce rate almost went down in half. You have to get your site as fast as you can for everyone. Personalized recommendations increase conversion rates. Anyone that has a site here, I can only tell you this, put your reviews all over your site if you have good reviews. Put them on Facebook, take them from Instagram, take them from your Google reviews, get them on your site so they're constantly scrolling, people can see them. Personalized video testimonials, you'll see your conversion rate go through the roof for people either buying your product or contacting you. This is the study we did with the bank. This comes right out of Google Analytics. And, you know, it's pretty funny. We're building out the whole case study now. So this is a major bank that hired us in Philadelphia. And the CEO said his three main components was, first, mortgages. Then second was auto loans. Third was cash, open up checking accounts. Well, they're a credit union, so to do first or the second, you need to be able to get a checking account, right? So with that being said, he couldn't understand why people were coming to his mortgage page and then leaving and not filling out a form right away. I'm like, the process isn't that. So we set up goals and we showed him that this is where people are coming. You're going organic, then direct 4 times. He goes, why would somebody come back to my site 4 times? Well, because they're going through that funnel. They want to see more information. Paid, if you take a look at his paid search, I thought this was pretty crazy. Paid, then paid times 2, paid times 3, paid times 3, then direct, then paid times 3, then organic. So that's why you can't silo anything. And people don't look at the assisted conversions. I would say now, I've been in the industry for about 20 years. This assisted conversions, I might have, all the people that have hired our agency, somebody coming to us, I would say maybe 10 times somebody actually understood this, knew what it was, and knew how to read this data. And they actually used it for their marketing. Because what happens is this is, people will say to me, oh, listen, I spent $5,000 on paid or 10 or 100, whatever it may be. I didn't get any conversions right away. Well, that's not true, because when they came back and they went through organic or direct, you never would have got them without paid. So that's where you got to look at the whole entire funnel and say, how are these converting on your site? Right here, you can see right here again, another part of it, 193, organic 198. But I'm trying to show you, hey, I saw the ad, I didn't convert, then I saw another ad, and then I did convert, and then it goes to a goal. But what's that timeline? And you can actually set these goals up for 30 days if you want, 60 days. I think it goes up to 365 days now, almost a full year. So you can really get some good data out of it. This we know is happening all the time. People are using cross devices, and multiple people are now saying, let me start on my mobile. And anyone who here has an e-commerce site? Anyone? And the great debate is do you get more conversions from your mobile and tablet or desktop, right? And that's like a great debate, and everyone wants to argue. And every site's different, so there is no ironclad answer to that. But you will see, if you actually follow this and you actually go look at your cross-device, e-commerce, you really see a big people going through cross channels of different devices before they convert. So you have to think about that experience if you're an e-commerce-based business and say, how do I make them convert faster, buy my product faster? And I always say to people, it's great that you have cross-channel conversions, and you're always going to have it, but you really want to try and get people to convert as soon as possible. So look to see where that traffic's coming from first and what the different quality of traffic is. And another thing you'll see on this too is if it's coming from social, whether it's coming from paid or direct or organic, they're all going to convert at different paces too. So you really want to advance segment that out and take a look at that part of it. So I put some tools in here for everyone because I think it's always good to have some pretty cool tools that you can look at and see. And, you know, Google Search Console, a lot of people, it sounds basic, but you'd be surprised how many people's sites still are not in Google Search Console. And they just actually, so a lot of people in Google Search Console, you'll see about 2 weeks ago they put out an announcement. They actually said that you'll see your impressions and clicks going down, especially a lot of different people. Well, I think about a year or 2 years ago, they were really trying to guesstimate. Now I think that data is a little bit more accurate, so they're just adjusting it. You're not actually losing, they're just becoming more accurate. Lead forensics, we think anyone that does B2B, any type of B2B, lead forensics is a great tool. Salesforce has the same type of tool. It's called Pardot, which is also for people that do B2B. MailChimp, Google Analytics are very good tools. We also use Crazy Egg for heat maps. I mean, if people aren't using that, Sniply. So these are some really good tools for you to. Marchex is a very good phone system, so you can actually go and advanced segment all your phones out and put whether it's a good lead, bad lead. You could actually rate the lead. So then there's also ClickPath, but they actually only give you the keywords now for paid, which Google does, so there's really no reason for it. They used to give you the organic side, but they took that out, so I think that kind of hurt them. So some of the key takeaways for that is this is, understanding the various steps of your industry sales funnel and how your customer will move through it. And if you're e-commerce, it's going to be a totally different sales funnel than if you're a service-based business. And a lot of you as affiliates, you get paid on many different ways. Really look at how you're getting paid on and what's the quickest way to get them through my sales funnel to get you paid and get you converting. How to take advantage of systems that can optimize nurturing customers through the buying process. You know, a lot of people don't buy right away. Make sure you look at nurturing them, getting back in front of them. Now with remarketing, video remarketing, I mean, the majority of people, who here heard of 310 Nutrition? 310 Nutrition, look them up. They probably have one of the best remarketing campaigns that you're ever going to see. And they get influencers to do it, and they get different people to do it. But, man, they are good with video remarketing and just remarketing as a whole. And they get you back into their product. And they really go off of emotion and success stories. And I think it's they're probably one of the best ones I've seen use video remarketing throughout so far that I've seen. The importance of tracking and the breadth of goals. You know, most people don't track, and most people get frustrated and they say, well, it's not my job. I just got to grow my business. I got to grow my business. The fastest way to grow your business, and I've always said this to people, do you think it's easier to double your traffic with good quality traffic to all your different platforms or double your conversions? Right? And that's a good debate, right? And I always say this to people, you know, if it's me, I'd rather work on making and optimizing all the conversions I can get out of my traffic because it's going to make me more money. The moment I start going for more traffic, I got to spend more money. It really costs you nothing to make sure you get your sales funnels down to a science and you constantly A/B test everything and really squeeze to maximize. Anticipating the buyer's needs before they arrive. I truly believe a lot of people don't think like their buyers. They think like their own industry. They talk like their own industry. They want to be the experts in their own industries, but they don't look at why are people coming to me? Why are people coming to my social media? Why are people coming to my site? You know, I see a ton of weight loss out here. And, you know, I'm speaking at supply side. I always say to people, if you're a weight loss company and you're sitting there and the first thing someone sees is just a shake or a protein bar, you want to make it before and after pictures, whatever it may be. You want to give them a reason to go on to another step. What are they looking for? Someone that's going for weight loss supplements doesn't feel good about themselves 9 times out of 10 if they're going through the new process. You know, someone that's a returning customer, do they lose weight? What's the success stories? And then use the behavior and interaction so you can take advantage of it. You know, take a look and put, you know, Google, anyone that uses Google Chrome, you have in-page analytics where you can see a lot of different stuff. But for the price of Crazy Egg, and now granted, Crazy Egg will slow down your site if you don't embed it correctly, so you just got to make sure you get it embedded correctly. But I think it's now for a 50,000 page site, like not even $100 a month. It shows you everywhere people are going, where they came from, what they're doing, and it's going to give you so much more information when you're testing things. So, I mean, I would definitely use Crazy Egg. And, you know, if anyone has any questions for me, I'll be more than glad to answer them. I think we got about 5 more minutes. So is there any questions in the audience? Yes.
So the multi-channel attribution that you talked about, which tools do you find especially good for tracking those?
Okay, so for the multi-attribution channels?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, so we use Google Analytics in our agency for the most part, and it works out very well. For the UTM codes, Sniply, we use that, and that's actually very good. And I'm going to say for 20,000 UTM codes, Sniply charges like $100, $150. So it's like dirt cheap, and it's a great tool.
Is that comparable to Wicked Reports?
I'm not familiar with Wicked Reports, so.
Thanks.
Ma'am, no problem. Ma'am, you had it? Yes, sir.
How do you set up your goals and your funnels? Which tool would you use the most?
So you can use it actually right in Google Analytics. You can set everything up right there. So you can actually set up right there inside Google Analytics for everything, for every platform. Yes, ma'am, you had a question? I see a question? Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Do you use email sequences?
Yes. Yeah, so we actually have it, depending on the type of customer that we're doing email marketing for, we'll actually write a whole different strategy for them, and then based on open rate, delivery rate, what people are doing, then we advance segment it out. But we don't you don't want to over email people. And so we represent an auto parts company, right? And they do about $300 million a year. And of course, a company like that, we're going to actually send out an email every single day. Your local plumber, you're not going to send out an email every single day. So you really got to use your judgment. And you really want to look at how many people are turning away your email and just actually unregistering. If that starts happening a lot to you, you might want to turn it down. And if you're giving good information on emails and good offers, most people will actually appreciate your email. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
The Google Maps result, there's a little boxes at the bottom that says other people search.
Yes.
Companies other people search.
Yes.
Optimize that, but where does that come from?
All right, so that comes directly from your friend Google that likes to give it to you every once in a while, because nothing like someone searching your branded name and see your competitors right there, right? So, right? I mean, you gotta love that, right? So that's Google's FU to the world, that they can do what they want. So they actually pull it back. When you search my name, you're gonna get other local companies, other major companies, and they just pull it, and they know kind of from your link profile what other people do. You gotta remember, they have all the data. So you can actually, on a PPC campaign, so Hotels Tonight has one of the best case studies is, we took a hotel out in Texas and said we want the same demographic on these 10 different keywords from Google, and that's all we want to convert. And ran the campaign. They went from an 8% occupancy to 3% in less than 6 months. So that's Google pretty much just saying tough crap, and you're going to deal with it. There's no way to not have that happen to you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Google Analytics almost APIs into everything. The API into Salesforce, almost everything that you can think of. And if you reach out to them, they'll let you API. I've never heard them saying no so far. Yes, ma'am.
For email or any sort of auto responder,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any tools like Infusionsoft that you recommend over others?
Nah, I mean, not really. I mean, nah, not for an autoresponder, no. Yes, sir.
What your experience is with Hotjar? Do you use it?
With what?
Hotjar.
Hotjar?
Hotjar.
Health jar.
No, Hotjar.
Hotjar. Yeah, Hotjar. No, we use Crazy Egg for all of our heat mapping.
Okay.
So we're very familiar with Crazy Egg. Our whole staff understands Crazy Egg. And we don't have any affiliation with Crazy Egg, but that's who we use. Very much. Yes, sir.
As an affiliate publisher, it's hard to track conversion once people leave our site and go to our affiliate merchant site. Any tips for that?
I think Bruce Clay could probably answer that question a little better than I could. Bruce, any tips? I'm not afraid to call on you, Bruce.
Thanks. Not really.
Yeah.
As soon as they leave your site, attribution fails. Now, Google has announced that they're going to have a solution for that, but I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. That's why I couldn't answer the question. Yes, sir, in the back. On AMP pages? Well, the issue with AMP pages, you can't make your whole site really AMP yet because, right, you're going to really jam up your whole site. So really most things that are AMP are going to be blogs, FAQ pages, things like that. But you do want to put conversion on there and set up goals so you know what's going on those AMP pages just like you would your regular site, 100%. And you can do all that right in Google Analytics. So one last question, and then my time's up. Yes, sir. I apologize. I couldn't understand your question. I'm sorry, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, you know, that's a good question. I mean, how do you get your CPA lower? There's a lot of different things. For a new website, and I tell people this, you know, when you go into the online business, it's no different than if you go get a retail location. You need to have funds to compete. And if you just don't have the funds to compete, you got to change. Now, there are things you can do. You can talk to affiliates here and get different traffic from different places. It'll be a lower cost. So you really got to do your research. But at the end of the day, for any affiliate, for any company, no matter who it is, heating and air conditioning company, a lawyer, affiliate, you need to bring some type of revenue to the table to acquire this and start competing. Because, you know, if it clicks or CPA or whatever it may be is $20 and that's the industry norm, you can get it down to 18, 17, 16, but you're not going to get it for $32 and have it be quality. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry, I apologize. Yes. Correct. All right, well, I appreciate everyone. Thank you for your time and hope you enjoyed the conference.